Every morning, I'm woken up by the alarm on my phone. With one swipe, it unlocks, and at 6 a.m., I already have the world at my fingertips. And the first thing I do is open Instagram. The true grandeur of humanity is in moral elevation, sustained, enlightened, and decorated by the intellect of man. Quote by Charles Sumner. We tend to gauge societal advancements based on the technology around us. We live in a time of space-age technology. We have smartphones and self-driving cars. But does that really mean that we are elevated? I would argue that as we see a rise in technological advancements, we experience a corresponding decline in humanity. Elevation should be measured by how well people improve themselves, not just by how well technology has improved. My generation claims to be more advanced, more politically and socially aware than the ones before us. But as technology takes over every aspect of our lives, we've also become the generation with the highest ever recorded rates of anxiety, the generation that tells you to love yourself, while simultaneously brainwashing ourselves to believe that every girl has to be a size 0 to be worth anything. We are the first ever generation to have instant access to information from all over the world. Yet we choose to spend hours a day staring at ourselves on our phones. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm guilty of this too. I mean, my prized possession for the past 8 years has simply evolved from my iPod to my iPad to my iPhone. And I have social media accounts on every platform. But as my technology advances, I don't believe that I'm able to keep up with it. Social media, what some may consider one of the most revolutionary inventions in recent years, has led to a generation of anxiety, depression, and extreme self-awareness. I know that sounds drastic, but it's true. I mean, since 2010, the year when Instagram was created, hospital admissions in the US of teenage girls for self-harm have risen 180%. Suicide rates have risen 151%. As our technology rises, our humanity falls. Inventions like social media have the ability to be great. They keep us connected and allow us to share ideas like never before. But as we spend so much time and effort into elevating our technology, we've neglected the fact that we have to put the same amount of effort into elevating our humanity as well. My experience with social media has been very similar to many people my age. At 17 years old, I've already experienced an eating disorder, irrational social anxiety, and overall negative body image. It started when I was 13, but the first time I saw an Instagram model, seeing the hundreds of thousands of likes and comments she was getting made me think, that is how I'm supposed to look. Little did I know, she probably didn't even look like that in real life either. But anyways, I began starving myself because in the 7th grade, I didn't know how to lose weight in a healthy way. What I did know, though, was how to edit my photos. So my innocent selfies were manipulated, the outcome being an artificially beautiful girl that somewhat resembled myself. I was so unhappy with what I looked like at such a young age that I truly believed that I had to create this facade of perfection in order to be accepted. While my weight dropped, so did all signs of my positive mental health. As our technology rises, our humanity falls. Now, eating disorders are nothing new. Young people have faced the negative consequences of comparison for years. In the 1960s, when thin women were increasingly introduced into the media, North American hospitals experienced a boom in admissions for anorexia and bulimia. And that's when doctors began to specialize in eating disorders to research the root of this problem. But then only 30 years later, another epidemic of eating disorders occurred when stick-thin models filled the runways in the 90s. Yet another opportunity to research the root of this problem and find a solution. Well, it is now 2021, and eating disorders are the second deadliest mental illness in the world, killing over 10,000 people every year. How is it, after over 50 years of research, we still haven't been able to solve this problem? If anything, we've just gotten worse. You see, 15 years ago, a picture was a picture, and you left it at that. There was no way for the average person to change the image of themselves that was portrayed to the outside world. But now, with social media and photo editing apps, everyone has the power to manipulate themselves, virtually erasing every flaw, creating a facade of perfection, further pushing my generation down a rabbit hole of unachievable desires. Somewhere in our deluded fantasy of innovation, we allowed 13-year-olds to edit themselves into their dream bodies and then post it online where people praise them for it. As our technology rises, our humanity falls. Another side effect of social media is this new self-proclaimed social awareness. Users repost infographics about social injustices, civil wars, environmental crises, mental illnesses, simply to prove that they're keeping up with current events. And while spreading news is great, reposting the same picture that all of your friends have already posted with no context, and then never following up on the issue again is useless. I mean, if 500 people kept telling each other about a problem that needed to be solved, but not one of those people ever actually tried to solve said problem, then all you have is 500 very ignorant individuals. We've created a pandemic of performative activism, saying that we're doing great things, but failing to actually do so. Take the climate crisis, for example. Pictures of polluted oceans and forest fires have circulated social media for years. It is a widely known fact that the damage caused to our environment may be irreversible by 2030. I learned that on Instagram. Yet we still buy from the fast fashion industry, one of the biggest polluters in the world. Many still litter when they can't find a garbage bin. And we avidly support corporations like Amazon, who pollute the air and water all over the world. This ignorance is actually proving the reverse of elevation. There is no justification to having access to all of this information and choosing to blatantly ignore it. As our technology rises, our humanity falls. To me, elevation is the enlightenment of every single individual. It's the ability to overcome internal issues that stop entire generations from progressing, like comparison or ignorance. It is pointless to have sleek, cutting-edge technology when the people using it are so unhappy and misguided that they don't even know how to improve themselves. We have the ability to elevate in this manner. We just have to put our innovative minds to use. In the words of Charles Sumner, the true grandeur of humanity is in moral elevation. It is not how many new inventions we have, but rather what we can do with these inventions to make today better than yesterday and tomorrow better than today for everyone. Thank you.